So welcome to my tutorial on how to turn your WRT54G router into a designated weather server for the Davis Vantage View weather console. So what this does is it turns your old WRT54G Linksys router into a router that not only can do your internet in your home, but can also simultaneously upload your weather data from your Davis Vantage View up to Weather Underground for free. It's pretty easy to do. I'm going to walk you through the steps of what we need to get done here first. So the first thing you need to do is you need to download a fresh copy of OpenWRT. You guys know how to do that. If you're coming here to convert your router, you know how to get the firmware. Download the firmware, install it, and then we're going to log into the firmware. So this is a fresh copy here. So type in your default IP, which is 192.168.1.1, and the password, default password, is admin. So we're going to log in. And in order to get our router to function correctly, we have to upload some firmware on it, and so you have to have the actual permission to do that. So we have to go over to System tab, and then we need to go to Administration. It takes a second. And then here we need to enter your password. So just enter admin again twice. So admin, admin. And you go down to the bottom, click Save and Apply. Alright, and it says password successfully changed. So that's the first step. Second step is now we are going to actually start uploading firmware onto the router so that we can provide the router with all the necessary equipment that it needs in order to communicate with the Davis console. So we're going to click under the System tab, we're going to click Software, and then we're going to go down here to Package Lists Available, and we're going to click Update Lists. And what this is doing is this is downloading all of the available packages that your router can hold. So we're going to go down here and it'll show us all of the packages. Packages are like software files. So this shows you all of the files that the software already has included on it. So the main way that our router is going to communicate with the Davis Vantage View is through what they call Lua script. So you want to scroll down here and make sure. So your router says it has Lua already pre-installed. That's good. We still need to install some other things here though. So the first thing we're going to download, we're going to filter out. We're going to click Available Packages. And we are going to search for, it's called STTY, STTY. Click Find Package. And here it is. So we're going to click Install. And we're going to say Install. So it's currently downloading it from the internet and installing it into the router's flash. And so it shows you your status up here. We can scroll down to the installed packages now, and we'll go down to the very bottom, and we're looking for STTY. There it is. Core Utils STTY. Okay. Now the second thing we're going to install is we're going to go to Available Packages again, and we are going to install HTTP, socket. Yeah, HTTP socket. I don't remember if it's one word or not. We'll see. Let's try one word. Oops. Nothing. Okay, let's try searching for Core Utils. Here we go. Okay, so I found out what I was missing. So I need to install Lua socket, Luasocket. Here it is right here. We're going to click install. Give it a second. And we'll scroll down and make sure it's in here. Lua socket. There we go. All right. Those are the only two things that we need to do as far as downloading firmware from their packages configuration of the software tab. So we can go ahead, we're going to close out of this, and then you need to go ahead and download a program called WinSCP. WinSCP. We're going to double click on it, and we are going to SCP into the router. And what this does is this allows us to download or upload files into the router. So we're going to type in our address again, and we're going to leave username and password blank. And you can just click update if you don't have that, or click add. Makes no difference. Username now is root. Password is admin. And don't worry about that error. Okay, so over here on the right, this is where all of our router files are. So we're inside the router right now. So we can click on root, and there's nothing in there. That's good. We can click on DV. Okay. So basically what we want to do is we want to install a couple things into the root folder, or just drag some stuff into the root folder. So first thing you want to drag is the Davis RCV.lua. This is a Lua script file. It needs to be modified. Just click OK. Next thing we want to do is the Davis SND.sh file. And click OK. Those are the only two things that we need to actually send into the router. So now we're done with this. We can go ahead and log out. And then I'm going to go into another program called Putty. This is going to allow me to SSH into the router. So we're going to do 192.168.1 SSH open. And it's going to ask us for the, we're going to click yes. Login is root. Password is admin, like we set, and here's the open WRT SSH access page. So first thing we're going to check is we're going to type in STTY, and so that was the program we installed earlier, and we just wanted to make sure it was there. Next thing we're going to do is we can check to make sure all our stuff got downloaded. So we have the Davis RCV and we have the Davis SND. That's good. Those are what we wanted to have in there. Let's see, what else can I do in here? Yeah, that's everything that I just wanted to check to make sure those two things got uploaded in there. So we can go ahead and type in exit. And we're going to log back into the router. And we're going to go back over to System. And then we're going to go to Startup. And these are all of the things that are currently going to be starting up with your router whenever you turn your router on. Okay, So the first thing we want to do is make sure that we don't have the stuff that we're going to be turning on already activated, because we wouldn't want to have that done. So we make sure, so what we're looking for in here is we're making sure that we have, let's see, I don't see anything here that we're, okay, I think we're okay. Just ignore this screen up here. We don't need this. We're just going to go down here to the local startup. We're going to click enter, and then we're going to go to our Ancient Wisdom website, which has our script that we need to use. Yeah, excuse me. So we're going to go down here and we're going to copy both of these. We're going to go back into our router. We're going to paste them here. Now here's the thing that's different. You need to check through your router, and this is done by when we go in. I'll show you how to do this here in a second, but my router, this TTY-S1 is actually referring to my serial port on the router, and that's what's going to be communicating with the Davis Vantage view. Every serial port is named differently depending on the user or the version of your router. So mine is a version 2, and instead of mine being called TTY-S1, it's actually called TTS/1. So that refers to the first or the second serial port, because there's serial port 0 and serial port 1. So referring to serial, this is referring to serial port 2. Just configuring it this way, and I'll show you how to find that. And then we want to make sure that our Lua script is in here as well. So once we have that in here, we're going to click submit. And make sure that they saved. That's good. Then we're going to go to scheduled tasks. And this is the what they call the cron tab. So we're going to go over to our Ancient Wisdom again, and we are going to copy this, and we're going to go back down into here and we're going to paste it. I'm going to change this 5 to a 1, and that means that my router is going to update the weather every minute instead of every 5 minutes that the previous script writer did. So we click submit again, make sure it saved it. So we'll go back to software, and let's go back to scheduled tasks just to make sure it's still there. So we scroll down, we check, we make sure everything is in there that we wanted to be in there. We can go back to scheduled tasks. Our scheduled task is still here. It saved the change. Go back to startup. And we'll scroll down to the bottom and make sure that it saved the change, which it did, and it saved the TTS/1, so that's good. And then we are going to close out of this. We're done with this. Now we need to go back into our PuTTY program. SSH in here. Our username is root, password is admin. Okay, so now we're back in the PuTTY program, and we need to make those files that we downloaded into our router, give them the permission to be able to be executed or turned on. So to do that, we're going to type in, let's see here, I have to remember how to do this here, chmod plus x davis snd.sh. Okay, so that should have made one script executable. And it made the other one executable, I believe. Let me make sure. Okay, so you're going to type in chmod, C is in Charlie, H, well you can read it, chmod, and then space +X, and then a space /root/Davis snd.sh. And then you're going to do the same thing, only you're going to do Davis rcv.lua. And those should make your files that we had on, that we downloaded into the router executable, and those give them permission. So the first thing we can do to test it is we can exit out, go back into our router, log in as admin again, and then we're going to go over to System, Reboot, and perform reboot. And it's going to reboot our router for us here. Okay, so now our router is rebooted. We'll log back in. Password is admin. And then we're going to go to Processes. And then we scroll down, we want to make sure that lua/root/Davis rcv.lua is currently running. And then we can also go over to our system log, and we can scroll down and make sure we're getting this command, which is good, we are. Don't mind that it says it's an error. It's not an error. That's just correct on how it's supposed to function. So now that we have that, that's all configured, we can go ahead and upload or turn our Davis Vantage View router on, which our Davis Vantage View weather console on, which I have done, and it should start if you have it, if you follow the directions that I'll post on the pinning or the connecting your Davis Vantage View console to your computer via like a homemade serial cable. It should be doing the same thing. It should be connecting currently right now. But right now it's waiting and it's trying to connect here. Okay, so I just confirmed that my Davis Vantage View is on, and it should be sending its signal now to Weather Underground. So I'm going to go down here and I want to check on my Weather Underground station. Click current conditions. And that's strange. It says it's 32,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, we'll see if it'll correct itself here in a second. There it goes. 74 degrees Fahrenheit, which is exactly what my readout is saying. Everything is working as it should. That should cover everything you need to know as far as how to configure stuff in a nutshell. So thanks for everybody's help, and I hope this has been a helpful guide.